Welcome back to the Creating Resilience video series. This is number 19 in our video series. And today we're going to be continuing to talk about our own and others' emotional regulation and how we can help other people understand that as well as be around other people and understand it ourselves. We started with emotional identification and we talked about what is that initial energy or feeling and how big is it? And what does it feel like in my body? Emotional regulation is adding what can I do to change the intensity of that feeling or that energy? The goal of regulation is to help others explore different energy levels to help learn how to shift those arousal states and the intensity of feeling. And we shift that by using upregulation. These are activities that help us increase energy level and change the intensity of feeling. So if we're upregulating, we might do such things as the large muscle movement we've talked about. Doing anything where you're using your stomach muscles, your thigh muscles, your biceps, your arms, any large muscles. So whether you're just doing jumping jacks or whether you're doing lunge steps, whether you're squatting and standing up, those large muscle movements actually shift our energy upward because we're using muscles. Any type of yoga or stretching often can upregulate and keep us moving with the large muscles as well. But yoga and stretching add a little bit of the mindfulness as to what it feels like and how it's shifting within your body. Any type of exercise, we all know that if you're sitting and you're feeling kind of tired, if you get up and you exercise some, that helps you. And just upbeat music or getting with somebody or watching something that really makes us laugh. A lot of these things tend to increase our energy level. We also know that sometimes when we're feeling a lot of anger or worry or frustration, we might do these things to decrease the intensity of that feeling. We might be increasing our energy output, but the intensity of a feeling might be decreasing. So that's an important thing to remember when you're regulating. This is definitely going to increase the energy, but the intensity of the feeling, it might intensify it or it might de-escalate that feeling some. We also have down regulation techniques, and these are things that tend to decrease energy in our body. And again, it can change the intensity of the feeling either up or down. So down regulation are very implicit and mindful breathing techniques. We've talked about a lot of these. We talked about the breathing with the hand. We've talked about 4-7-8 breathing, belly breathing, feeling the breath. So any type of breathing technique, especially when you're accenting the out breath, it tends to decrease the energy. A lot of times when we're mindful, we're actually doing some grounding sort of things when we're being really very mindful. And when we pause and we just reflect on our own body, a lot of times that slows the energy down because we're focusing in on our mindfulness and our grounding of our body. Any type of rhythmic motion, rocking chairs often bring a decrease in energy as well as rhythmical walking or 60 beat per minute music. All of these we've talked about before, that those are ways to help your breathing and your heart rate and your muscle tension all decrease a little bit. You can also use different types of tools that will help you decrease your energy and sometimes increase it. So these tools, I often call them calming tools, and different people like different tools. So breathing with a windmill might really help. People hold these and you breathe and you try to see how long you can get it to spin. When you do that, you're taking in a deep breath and you're letting it out really, really slowly. So that's a tool you can use for breathing. This is what's called just like a magic wand or a glitter wand. And when you tip it back and forth, glitter moves in and out. Some people really like to watch the glitter. They're more visual. I like my glitter wand not because it's visual, but because it has these twisty things on the side, and I'm a tactile person. So it means I like to touch things so I can feel it as I'm twisting it back and forth in my fingers. Even just a piece of paper can be a great calming tool. You can color on it, you can tear it, you can crumple it, you can throw it. So calming tools don't have to be something that you buy. A squishy ball, lots of people get into stress balls or things that they are moving their hand back and forth, and it can be rhythm, but it can also be just that tensing and releasing. Some people like Play-Doh or different types of clay to play, and they may not create something like a sunshine. They might just squish it in their fingers or roll it around. Definitely doodling and coloring and art are all sorts of tools that you can use. It used to be that in staff meetings and things like that at work, if somebody was doodling on the side of their paper while somebody was speaking, we saw it as disrespect. But now what we really understand is that some people need that motion in their hand to actually be able to focus on what's being said. So it's important to remember if you think somebody's being distracted by something, in fact, it might really be a calming tool for them. We know that wrapping up in blankets, sometimes even weighted blankets or weighted vests really help. Just having pressure on your upper body and around your body often brings physical calming. So blankets, weighted blankets, wrapping up in them. And so does having a stuffed toy to just squeeze and hold. They also do make toys that are weighted that sit on people's laps. Even it doesn't have to be a toy, it can just be a piece of material with something weighted within it. These are all tools that you can use to actually shift and change energy. Most of these tools would slow down the energy and be able to shift and change intensity of emotions that way. The other thing is there are alternating regulation. And what that means is you combine an up and a down regulation so that you can be at a space where you have more energy and more focus. So, for example, if I am sitting doing these videos and I know I want to keep doing them, but I've been sitting for a while, I'll stop doing them. I'll get out, I'll walk around, I'll stretch my muscles, get my energy back, and then I might take a deep breath before I start again to kind of calm myself so I can be focused. That's using alternating regulation, shifting between increasing and decreasing energy levels. It's really important to know that if when growing up you were dismissed, invalidated, distracted, punished, reprimanded for having or expressing feelings in any way, then it'll take some time as an adult to really learn how to regulate those feelings in a really healthy manner. So go easy on yourself. You're learning to do something new for the very first time, and it's going to take some practice. It's going to take some patience, and it's going to take some perseverance. And the same as if you're trying to teach these techniques to somebody else. This isn't something that we learn a breathing technique and the next day when we're anxious, we take a deep breath and we feel better. It doesn't work that way. In fact, you might have been doing breathing techniques for a really long time, for years, and you're really good at it, but you get in something where your body needs to be in the trunk and your body's going to stay there for a little while. Just understanding your body and being aware of where you are and having control over it when you can have control over it. That should bring some comfort in itself. Your reflection with this video is what regulation activities or tools do you currently use? It might be something we didn't talk about at all, but think about what are you doing for regulation? And then your action step is to practice different activities other than what you're already doing. Try out some other tools, try out some other strategies to see what might really work best for you at different times. I know when I first started teaching people about regulation, I really didn't get into the mindfulness videos where you sit and you listen to somebody directing you how to breathe and there were waves crashing in the background. I really didn't get into that. But it took about a year of practicing and doing short videos. And now, sometimes when I'm really stressed, I can put on a longer video and it really does bring me comfort. So just know it takes practice and patience and perseverance. Thank you for going on this journey with me. I hope you're finding it making some grateful and pleasant changes in your life.